I'm 0007 because I'm one better. I'm nobody.
Keep on saying that, but you should be sitting on camera.
Okay, there you go.
Hey, you're the most important person in the world today when somebody didn't have their power.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. All right. We are live. So I'm going to call the City of Greendale Redevelopment Commission regular meeting to order for October 21st here at 6 o'clock. So I'm going to do three things, and I'm going to bring up Sean to go over. I'm going to move up the new business GIS for the city. So first item of business is approval of the regular meeting minutes, September 16th. Comments, questions? If not, I entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? So moved. On the financial report, a couple things is I did note here that we did certificate of deposit that matured in September was renewed for 12 months at a rate of 3.72 with an APY of 3.79. And then what I did...
Excuse me for interrupting you, but...
Absolutely.
For those non-financial people in here, tell us the difference of the 372 and the 379, please.
372 is what you get without the compounding. So the APY makes all banks, credit unions, makes them all equal. So you always want to look at the APY. That's how much you would get in a one-year period. And for instance, somebody might just compound at the end of the year. Other ones may compound monthly. You're going to get more in the monthly compound.
So just for so 3.79 APY is the 12-month, it'll be a 12-month certificate. If it were 6 months, it would be 3.79.
No, it'd still show the 3.79, but...
Divided by 2.
Yeah.
But you would get, yeah, okay. That's
Yeah.
that's clarifying
Yeah.
in my head.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then what else I did is on your financials, I tried to make some comments and different things. You can see we have the beautification fund up there at 137 plus thousand. And then down below are our TIF funds, which are 3.875 million. Included in that is the 2 million for our earmark for the LCD. Let me see, then the next page are our CDs that are earmarked for that, and we actually have a balance. I'm not sure what, but we actually have earned $41,000 on that 2 million, so that's kind of nice.
So we made 41,000 on the 6-month CD that we just rolled over, correct?
Well, no, she has the year-to-date interest bill on all of those, all four of them.
All four, okay.
Yeah. So, and that makes sense. You know, we earned, 2 million, 4%, probably about
4.
80,000 a year.
Yeah, roughly 4%, yeah.
Yeah, give or take. The next page is the income and expense that came in, and you see we did receive a pilot payment from K9 Country Club, which they stated they were going to send in September. And I did talk to one of the owners. They hope to have another pilot payment of a similar amount in December.
And what's the total required for their pilot payment?
Bill, I'm thinking their agreement was for about $25,000 a year, and they're only bringing in about $15,000.
So another one getting them closer. So
Getting them closer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So they make one here and one November, they should be caught up.
Yeah, be close.
Okay.
And then the next page is the Riverboat Fund. And this is where we decide if we want to expense something out of a riverboat. And we've only had three things, and so out of our 150,000 from the city, we have 139,000 left. The city budget was approved last night, and it'll be 150,000 again for 2026. However, of that 150,000, the city, part of the LCD earmark funds, the city committed 100,000, and that 150,000 includes the 100,000. So
Well, we got 50,000.
50 grand.
that, or we could take 75 next year and 75 the year after that. So, the riverboat funds are just going down. It's just what they are. Then the last page.
Here, I got another question for you
Sure,
now.
sure.
So, we don't do anything with that account until January, is that correct?
Well, we can use the funds right now. I mean, we could.
But for this year, but I'm talking about next year's 150, that's when that requirement comes in about the levy.
Well, that's what the city says. Yes, they said they want us to consider using,
Oh, consider, okay.
taking it from there.
All right. So in January, if we chose to use 100,000, we could put that into a CD right away.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right.
The last page is kind of what I brought up recently, that these are expenses. This is the budget the city had in for this year, that do not include, they include, it's expenses for non-TIF expenses, non-riverboat, or no beautification funds. So these are things, if you notice on the claim report, the top of the claim report has Anthony's.
Yeah.
So, and actually this year, the budget for this, I think this budget, you can see on the current is 58,755. The budget this year is about 39,000, which is more realistic because we don't use all these other items under the fund report. That was just something that previous redevelopments used for different things. And we will have to, by July 31st, we will have to give the clerk treasurer what we wished for this to be.
By October 31st.
Right, July, no, they've already done
Oh.
26, Bill, so we'll be, I mean, yeah, so we'll be doing for 27.
All right, so if I'm looking at this page you've given us, the
Mhm.
legal services, economic redevelopment, so that, the current is the budget, 25,000?
No, the current, oh, I'm sorry, Bill, yes,
And we've spent 30,000?
yeah, but.
And
the
next
to-
year's budget's 39?
Yeah, well, I don't know what it is for sure, I need to look at that. And these are legal expenses, yes.
So this is this through 9 months or 10 months?
This is through 9 months.
So we're spending almost almost 4,000 a month. So we need 50 grand
Yeah.
for next year.
Yeah.
Not 39, so, okay.
So that was a lot for financials. I always thought it was kind of confusing, so I tried to
Oh, it is.
clean it up a little bit.
That helped a lot for me.
Comments, questions, concerns? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the financial report as presented.
I will make the motion to approve the financial report.
We have a motion from Bill. Do we have a second?
I will second.
We have a second from Aaron. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? So moved. Okay, next one is the claims. I don't really have any. They're pretty much, there was nothing unusual there that I remember. We did have fish, which was fine. They did, in a communication with Fish, they do think there will be another claim or two, depending on, because I think they're still doing some houses.
Well, my concern is with Flock.
Okay, yeah.
Why are we paying $6,000?
That was the flock cameras that came to us, and we purchased the original cameras for the police department. And at that time, we discussed about doing the maintenance for them also.
I remember.
And I'm sorry, Bill, I don't have the claim in front of me, so thank you for bringing that up.
I remember the conversation where I wanted them to get that put into their own budget, not us continue paying it every year. I remember that part of the conversation. I don't remember us committing to paying for the maintenance.
We did not commit. We talked about doing it. Would you like to?
Well, I'm
You
curious to know why it's not in their budget.
Okay.
Why, you know, it's part of their doing business. I'm not against the idea of the I mean, you know, I voted for it last year. It makes sense. But it should be part of the budget that the police department controls.
Okay.
Not looking for us to pay for that, in my opinion. That's my opinion. There's more people sitting here, so.
Aaron, Chris, Mark?
I'm in agreement on that. That was specifically called out at the time of that.
Okay. Okay.
That we were providing for the initial, the initial cost and expenses to get the program started, but they were to work the continuing costs, maintenance and so on into their ongoing budgets.
Because I think, if memory serves, we spent like 15 or 17,000 or something like that last year, because we paid for everything.
Yeah, it was,
Right.
yeah, I felt it was even more than that, Bill, but.
But, you know, $6,000, like I said, to me, that should be in their department. It's no different than asking Sean for, you know, for him to pay for, you know, for us to pay for stuff to run his department. It's no different, in my opinion. No, but putting it in place versus maintaining it every year is a difference
Right.
to me. So.
Well, why don't we do this? Why don't we remove that amount from the approval of the claims, and I can discuss with Becky and get back to her by Mark?
Is that going to impact the service any?
That's what I'm worried about.
I mean,
Yeah, I wouldn't think so,
yeah, I don't remember.
no.
And I don't remember the $6,000 being mentioned. I know there was discussed about maintenance, but I don't remember any dollar figure.
Okay.
That seems, it's quite high.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I thought I remember them saying it wasn't cheap to keep maintaining because of software updates and things like that, but I just remember me specifically saying to the chief that you need to figure out how to get this in your own budget. But I don't know whether that flew or not, so I know we paid for whatever we did last year, so.
Does anybody, and Aaron, any comments from you on this, or?
No, I agree. I was looking and I couldn't find minutes from that meeting. Because I was trying to remember whether we said we would or not, because I couldn't recall.
Yeah.
But
We did not promise. I think we said, what I remember is, I remember Bill saying that, and I remember us saying, we'll look at it next year, but, you know, I very well could be wrong. So if everybody's okay, let's remove that from the claim total, and then I'll get with Becky.
Are the cameras up and active?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
because you can see the one going
There's
to
been
Lawrenceburg,
activity,
but
yeah.
that's Lawrenceburg's camera.
Yeah, they're on 275 and
There was,
50, and then here at 1.
I think there was an email to you, Mike, that you forwarded it, but a few months into the program where they actually helped find
Yes.
someone,
Yes,
yeah. Mhm.
So what's that new amount? What less than 6,000, if you don't mind?
287,
23.
869, 22, 287?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So
I'll make a motion to approve the claims minus the flock camera amount, which looks like it's $287,869.
It's 284.
22.
No, 287.
okay. We have a motion. Any further discussion? Do we have a second?
I will second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all those opposed, so moved. Okay, so
Now Sean.
yeah, so we're gonna move, I was asked by the mayor to to consider have us, well, I'm sorry, I was not asked.
We already have copies.
We-
He
yeah, we
made
do.
copies for us, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I
But
printed
if
my,
you need one,
I
will
printed
send-
my
I don't
own.
have
Hey,
to
Sean,
pull it
can I
up
have
on my
one too? I
computer.
didn't.
Sure.
Well,
Yeah, I printed my own.
Laura, Becky did not print a packet, so she said stop by.
Yeah, since this was new, I wanted
Okay.
to print this to
Um,
understand.
Thank you.
I read through it online.
So, my apologies, Vince was at a council meeting and he spoke about, this system which came to the forefront when there was a water main incident, where there was, what, 500 gallons of water went out?
Quite a bit.
Yeah, and we have nothing electronically on where everything is as far as our utilities.
Ours is all basically paper copies, all of our maps in the city. Steve did a great job when Steve was here. If there was a leak, he'd mark it on a map, leak with the date, how far off the side of the pavement it is, and all that stuff. Steve was great about that. But we have nothing on digits where we can, out in the field, okay, we have a leak here. And like at that leak, we could have hit a button, it would have told us all the valves in that area to shut off to stop feeding that line.
But we couldn't find the valves
We were
without,
doing paper maps and we couldn't find them in some spots that were covered up, 'cause we didn't know they were there. We had to go to another map that was previous when they did that water line on Opening Road. And I didn't know they did a water line on Opening Road. Steve talked to me over the phone, hey, check this map out, go look here. It's not on this big map. We found a valve that would have shut down the whole thing instead of letting all that water flow out for 4 hours until we were able to shut it down.
so this is, again, why would we, and Vince did not ask me, I told Vince I would bring this here because we bring a lot of things to the city with new businesses and that, and they, we have new lines, whatever, and I think this, we are allowed to do this from a, what's it called? Just quality of life, on that. And I just thought, we have, in the evening now, we have younger workers who are very adept on their phones and that. And if there's a call at night on something, many times they can't just go to where the issue is. They have to come here or go to the issue, come here, get a paper copy.
Yes, we keep copies. I copied everything Steve has on another map. Steve's getting worn out, so I have it out in my garage, so we don't lose it. We keep a paper copy. And what this company will do for us, like,
No.
they will, electric, water, sewer, and storm, they would take all of our maps. We reached out to other companies to see about doing a GIS system, and 2 of them only did what you see up above. And then I asked them, well, what about the water and the sewer lines? They said, well, you have to add that on there. I was like, well, that's kind of defeating the work. I'm doing most of the work myself. This company here, WTH, they would take all of our paper copies, any digits we have. We went out, we have a Tremble unit, Steve got when he was here, and we went out marking valves and storms, and we have it on a little map, digital map. They'll take that, upload all that. The property lines would be also added in there for all the properties, and they would just put it on basically a big map, and there will be 10 users right now, 3 desktop, it would be like myself, one in my garage down there for the guys to pull up, and then Storm, Alan would be able to get on there, or whoever the MS4 coordinator is. And then all the rest of the guys can use a cell phone and log on. They just can't make any changes.
So it's a static until you have rights to,
Yes, and that's what we're
Okay.
paying for the rights for
Okay.
10 users.
Yeah,
Utilities plus,
That's the $2,400 subscription?
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
and that's ongoing.
Right.
yes.
So,
And you have support, and that would be a yearly thing. That annual client support, that'll be $4,400 we'll pay
Right.
annually.
yeah, what, did you meant, it says water, sanitary, storm, and electric. What about gas? Because that comes into play underground near with all your stuff.
But we don't deal with gas, so
No,
they'll be on our map.
I know you don't do that. I'm just wondering whether or not this would be advantageous to get Sycamore to do the same thing, so you guys also had a copy of, so you don't hit their lines.
Well, when we call them locates,
Yeah.
they have to mark their line.
Right, I know.
If we're within 18 inches on either side, we have to hand dig
Okay,
and all that. I don't know if Sycamore would let us have a copy of their map
okay.
and everything. I know they have GIS in their truck.
I was just gonna ask you, so they had done this?
yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
all right.
Sycamore Gas has this.
So you're looking for a mechanism, you get a call to Nowlan Avenue, instead of coming back to the office to say there's a valve here, here, and here, you can boom,
We can pull it up on our
it's
phones.
here.
Yeah, so,
And then the big thing is storms. We've been out in storms. We're trying to look at the map, get two people
Sure.
in the front of the truck so it doesn't get wet. You have this
Yeah.
3x4 sheet or 3x2.5 sheet of paper, 60 pages.
Yeah.
We're trying to flip through, looking for valves.
So, the other thing that comes to mind, and both Mikes might, we've had GIS done by IMPA? Is that right?
oh, IMPA, yeah.
On a couple
This is
different
much
things.
different.
But my question to you was, would this give us some of what IMPA has done as well? I mean, IMPA hasn't done what that Sean needs, but will this give us some of what IMPA has done, marking the areas, the property lines?
I would say what IMPA's done, what IMPA has done, in creating that digital marketing collateral for a couple of sites in Greendale is a drop in the bucket compared to what this service would do for the city of Greendale and everything. Now, there is utility mapping as part of that, but, that's not what these utility guys are going to use out in the field. It's,
Right,
again, more for marketing purposes. I don't know if that's what you're asking, but
No, I'm actually the flip of that.
Can IMPA use?
Can,
could the,
if we get this thing done,
Mhm.
right, would that give us information on all the various properties, similar to what IMPA has done for us with that?
yes. So GIS is very useful when it comes to promoting economic development in your community because you may do this. I do it all the time. I use Dearborn County's GIS online map tool almost daily in my job. It's particularly useful for developers in prospecting sites and developments, allowing them to understand a number of different things about a particular piece of property, where the utility lines are, whether there's floodplain, where the property lines may be, which, telephone service territory does it fall within. There are any number of layers that might appear in this tool that Greendale will have. And having attended the Greendale Council meeting where this was discussed, and Sean, maybe you can speak more to this, but there could be a public-facing aspect of this GIS map where we could put this on the city of Greendale's website, and so if developers are prospecting land, property in the city of Greendale, that this could, this is information that's at their fingertips. It catalyzes them in their decision-making and deciding if they want to invest and pursue projects in Greendale. Yes, it would enhance marketing for economic community development in Greendale.
Sean, going forward, say there's a subdivision built down in the bottoms, who would be required or have the ability or the cost of adding all that additional infrastructure into this? Would that be?
That'd be Greendale.
So you would have the administrative rights to do it, and it wouldn't be going back to this company to?
We would go to this company, just give it to them, they would add it in. And the nice thing about this
Okay,
company.
they would do, okay.
We can make changes in town with things, just send them the information.
Put
They
notes
will,
and
during
things.
that, for that annual contract, they'll add it in. But the guy, Paul, that put this together, I've known him for years. When I was in Rousing Sun, we had the same thing. He'd rather teach us, and that's what we're gonna teach the guys. They can put it in there, but I'm the only one that'll be able to approve it, so not everybody's making changes.
You'll have the administrative rights
Yes,
to do it, okay,
administrative rights
okay.
And all that.
But if,
If it's a big project, I just give it over to WTH.
and that's,
Take care of
and
it.
that's part of your $4,400?
Yes, sir.
Really?
And I think I sent you pages, Mike, of our maps.
Mhm.
And it would be great if I could just send them a digital.
Right.
All we have are pages, copies of them, scanned copies.
And I think one reason rather than waiting till next year, Vincent and myself want to bring this is if we can get this approved, if that's the pleasure of the board, then this can start, soon.
Yes, and he said it's gonna take 2 to 3 months to upload all the maps.
Well, that was the other question I was thinking of, was how long does it would take, so.
2 to 3 months,
Yeah.
and they're gonna do everything for us. And they'll come and give the guys a class,
just brings us up, brings Greendale up to the 21st century too. I mean, you know, it's just,
We're bringing all of our information that we have into one folder, one file, and that's what's nice. The paper maps, I did, when I first got here, we had, primary poles inspected and tagged. And I have a map of all that, and it shows everything on the pole itself, what each pole has. And that can be added in, so if a car hits that, I can get the updated price, just, I know exactly what it costs to replace that pole.
one thing that I would ask is a consideration that, I know the price on this is 55,000, give or take, is I'd like to pad that a little bit, because in my opinion, I can't imagine, I know, and Bill, I'm looking at you, because
That's why I'm not looking that way, Sean.
when these guys hit Shenley and Seagram's properties, I just can't believe they're not gonna come back saying, we need, but again, maybe this is their proposal and that's is what it is. I just, what I don't wanna do, I wanna get this finished within 6 months, a year, for these guys.
The information they got this price is off the miles of water line, sewer line, and electric line that
Okay.
we have. That's how they came up with the price, they went off the mileage. And we added, it was like 41 miles of electric line, I told them 43. Because I know I have some single phase cuts that just go off. And plus, I'm not sure if our map really has like going up, I'll call it Tower Road. Trying to think of the name of that road. I just know it's Tower Road coming off Route 1. It's like Green's out further, sorry.
You talking about the one up across from Nowlin?
Yes.
Up to the Collins property?
Whose property, sir? I don't know.
Collins?
Becky's families.
Becky's, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, I don't know if it's got a name.
There's a name, but
So that road.
that road up there.
Becky's Road.
There's a cell tower, cell tower all the way at the end, that's all we call it, Cell Tower Road.
Okay.
We don't know if that's actually on our map, but that's all underground electric up there and everything. So that's why we added a couple miles, just in case we miss something that's not on the map.
Well, Sean, let me ask you then, do you anticipate the way they price this and the information you give them come back saying, we got more than that, or are you
No.
okay with the 55?
Yeah, because if it's something, then we can cover it, if it's something
Okay.
more.
Okay.
Does say $200 per mile extra. Not huge.
And again, we will not be responsible, put this name, and we can make that in the motion, we will not be responsible for the annual support or consultation. I think I'm just looking for the 55,000.
That was my question, was what's the request? The request is,
it does come from me, as I did it with Vince, the 55,250. I mean, if you guys want to throw in the first year of support, it's not going to break my heart, but it's pleasure of the board. However you want to do it.
Well, if I understand this correctly, the support price doesn't happen until this time next year,
Correct, the annual.
the
yes.
4,400. So
Yes.
it's built into the 55 for this year.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So I guess then the ask is just 55,250.
Which fund?
Hmm?
Where do you want to pay it out of?
We take it out TIF. You don't like all this wind.
Oh, no, I don't.
You want to get home.
Sorry.
yeah.
Keep watching my phone, wait for it to go off.
Thoughts, comments, questions? Motion? No motion?
To me, it makes very, very much sense to get this done. And I don't have a problem with the $55,000. I'm actually, and I think Aaron found that if you add miles, it's $200 a mile, I think you said, didn't you? If you add miles, something like
For
that.
each utility, it was.
Yeah, I think we ought to just go to 60 to be safe, for just in case you have miles you don't know about.
'Cause I
And
added
if-
like
you know,
40 or 38 miles. and I added
If we
couple
give them
miles.
60, and he does it, and it only winds up to 55, then he's got 4,000 for the thing next year, right? So, that's my thought. And minimum, I would say we need to do the 55,250 minimum.
Yeah.
But I'm suggesting possibly 60 just to make sure for extra mileage, so. Because it sounds like there are some maps he might not even have noticed anywhere yet.
Yeah.
There are.
So, Bill, is that a motion?
I'll make that motion, yes.
Okay. I have a motion. Further discussion?
We need a second first.
I will,
Yeah.
I will
I'm sorry.
second the motion.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye for 60,000 for redevelopment to pay for the GIS
Out of TIF.
out of TIF.
Aye.
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 All those opposed? So moved. Thanks, Sean. Get out of here
So
before you.
Sean, see, the easy part was this number. Don't come back next year looking for the. You heard me
about the
You heard me
police.
on the other one.
And I'll let my predecessor know that he's not next year.
Oh, that's right, yeah. I do remember,
Oh, come on.
I do remember somebody told me that, yes.
No, it's great.
Well, get it done before you decide to do anything else, all right?
Plan on it, sir.
All right.
All right.
Thanks,
Thanks.
Sean.
Thanks,
All right, thanks. Be safe driving down the rising sun.
I'm gonna try.
All right. Okay, back up to unfinished business. Mike, Stellar.
Yep.
And then the bridge, Roy, is a new business if we,
So on Stellar, the Board of Works at their last meeting, the beginning of this month, approved using HWC Engineering as the design engineering firm for the Southridge Avenue streetscaping project. And I believe the mayor made a determination that there was enough money remaining at the city this year to go ahead and pay the cost to get HWC Engineering through the application for the Community Development Block Grant funding, the 2.75 million for that project. So that's moving along. There's supposed to be a kickoff meeting with the mayor and HWC Engineering coming up, I believe, next week on that project. So things with HWC now formally procured. I anticipate the project really gaining steam and moving along much more quickly as far as what is this thing actually going to look like. The timeline is to put in the application, at which time that project largely has to be, probably about 90% engineered. That application will go into the state sometime next spring, probably late spring.
So they, signing this agreement with this engineering group, they know our deadlines and they feel comfortable meeting everything?
Yeah, they've drafted a timeline for it all, and they'll be working with the Board of Works and the mayor on this.
Okay.
At the time that the application goes in, again, probably sometime in spring next year, that is when any property that's going to be part of the project has to be under control.
Okay.
I am gonna jump down, we'll just to kind of stay in order, I'm gonna jump down to new business. The last bullet point. From our last meeting, I believe there was support to look into the bridge, signage, lack of a better term.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think what we should do is gather 3 sealed bids for this project. I mean, Mike and Anthony and I spoke to have the communication from a railroad company allowing us to do something like this. I don't want to let that go unanswered. I did talk to Visitor and Convention Bureau this morning. What was the appetite there? There is an appetite. The question they have which is probably the biggest question we have, is who's responsible for maintenance and how much is it gonna cost? I think we, excuse me, I think we all have that same question. I think we could perhaps get that, Mike, you think we'd get that with sealed bids? I mean, we could put that in there to find out, are these panels, if somebody's on the bridge and they lean over and they spray paint everything, does it come off? How, what, and how much is a panel if we have to do that? No, the bridge hasn't been painted on for a while, but it hasn't been noticeable for a while, so I think that's a great question, but I think that's something we just have to ask with part of this.
Probably put that in the bid package.
Yeah.
Just what, asking them for, you might ask for like a 3-year maintenance agreement in addition to the installation costs.
We don't have a design right now, and I don't think we need one. I think design of our choosing, actually, one of the representatives from Hollywood said, and again, she's not at the level where she can make any kind of decision. She goes, they may be interested in putting something on there. I don't know.
I think in the sealed bids, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mike Perleberg, but we could ask them for design ideas, just with a concepts. That's a good word.
Design.
Yeah.
With a message of welcome and thank you, about that kind of a thing. We could ask them for that in the design package. But I agree with Mike. We should be putting into the package at least a 3-year.
Yeah, I'd probably put some, like, maybe a biannual inspection, just to make sure, because these panels are gonna be
They're pretty good size.
probably clamped to the bridge somehow.
Yeah.
And you don't want them falling down into the highway, so I think, we're probably building in some sort of routine inspection, make sure everything's secure.
Right.
Yeah,
I think Mooch's first idea was cables, as I remember. Is that right?
clamps.
Cabling of it?
His were clamps.
Was clamps?
Yeah. So,
Yeah, I agree that we should be getting, some ideas here.
and Mike knows enough sign companies that he said would be interested in giving a proposal possibly, so, is everybody okay? Do I need a motion to?
There's action requested, I would think we need
Yeah,
a motion,
yeah,
so.
yeah.
So we need a motion made for someone to get the 3 sealed bids, correct?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, how about we start with developing a bid package and bring that back before we
Okay.
put the bid out?
Okay.
I like that.
So we don't need a motion for that, we just need someone to put that together, or do we need a motion to say
One Dearborn can work on it, and,
without a motion?
yeah, we'll collaborate with Anthony,
Yeah.
Mike, and then bring that back for the
Okay.
board in November.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. So, back up,
Unless somebody else besides Mike wants to run point on this with us, but.
I think one Dearborn is just perfect for that.
All
He means not you, in
I am,
other words.
So if you want me to work with somebody else instead of coming back to you between now and November.
that's
Okay.
fine, I don't mind.
All right.
I wouldn't mind, because that way I can go to the visiting convention,
That's
on
good,
that
yeah.
too.
Okay.
So going down to Anthony's,
Was there a vote there?
no, because since we're just doing
Do you think we need one, or no?
I don't think so.
back up to Anthony's, I know Anthony, KPG, Mike, you might have information on that? Sorry.
It's okay. Yeah, so the KPG project, they are waiting on IDEM approval for environmental, for a comfort letter on environmental, which they said there's a draft from IDEM, which is a very good sign. So, and then there's another IDEM piece that they're waiting on. I can't remember what that is off the top of my head. But those are kind of the main things. They will be putting a shovel in the ground by the end of the year. They have to do that for the redevelopment tax credits. And of course, there's the bond for the TIF component of that project. And what KPG is talking about is a simultaneous closing of the redevelopment tax credits, their TIF bond, and then their private financing they're getting for the project. They want that all to be a simultaneous closing. So the developer, probably coordinate that with Anthony in One Dearborn, when they're ready to do that, once they have all their ducks in a row. But they're still full steam ahead. They're looking for fill dirt, if you know where any can be found.
Valley Woods, potential property development, we really don't have any update on that at this point.
I'm assuming that's the, stuff by the pond?
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Taco Bell, we have gotten the survey. We're hoping the closing will happen next week. And I'm looking at you, Mike, when I say that.
Yeah, you may recall, we had to put a extension addendum for the closing deadline in place last month. That extension goes through October 31st, 10 days from today. The title company expressed some confidence that we'll have that done next week.
Yeah.
So,
And they,
So the last piece that we needed for that was the survey?
yeah,
yeah, survey's
was it.
completed, and then there was some
we just needed.
other thing that needed to be
There
done.
was something else with the title company that, but Anthony talked to him and they're gonna, again, the
So we should-
communication I saw is by
Should be fine-
October
We should be fine
31st.
for 10 days. in
We
10
hope
days,
so.
Okay.
And I've been updating the project code developer on that.
Yeah. Okay, the soft wash program, I kind of gave you what the bullet points that I listed there are exactly from Fish. So they've done 101 residences. We've spent 81,000, almost 82,000, and the average per residence is about $811.66. And as you can see, different reasons, 26 didn't respond, 14 passed or undecided, or he doesn't know why.
Okay.
So, and I think we've done very well. I think I've heard
75%,
nothing but good things about it. So,
About 65, 65, somewhere in that area.
so I think, we do need to get together and put our heads together and decide what, if anything, we want to do next year. But, we have time on that. Any questions on unfinished business? Okay.
No, there's, to me, that's like 66%. To me, that sounds like a pretty good number.
I think it's,
You got 26 that didn't even respond. Other than that, we got a pretty good,
yeah.
pretty good response, if you think about it that way.
Bill, I would agree.
Yeah. I remember specifically calling out that if we got 50% participation, that would be successful on year one
Yeah.
particularly. So,
Yeah.
it's
So,
great.
and I think Fish has done a very nice job. So I think they've been pleased also with everything. They did tell me they're gonna go back to some places and see, maybe touch up a couple things that they think that, maybe they can improve a little couple of residences.
Okay.
Moving on to new business. So redevelopment is required to do a state of Indiana spending plan.
Yeah, you may recall, this is, again, a new requirement that the legislature put in place in law, I think in '23, and the spending plan for '25, you had to complete by '24, December 1st of '24, and so that's the deadline each year for this spending plan to be approved by each redevelopment commission in the state and sent to the Indiana Department of Local Government Finance, again, by December 1st. So, you don't need to approve this today. We provided a draft to you. So if you have comments or want to make changes, there is time to do that. We would suggest passing this no later than your November meeting.
Yeah, we'll table this because.
I'm sorry, I don't recall seeing a draft.
I sent out an email. I think I did a reply all.
Mike sent it?
To everybody.
Seen it.
Perleberg sent it? I don't remember seeing that. Sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No problem, but we're just gonna table that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
On that.
I just wanted to make sure I had it, that's all.
And the other, next one's gonna be tabled also. I just realized, Anthony, so we talked about resolutions for the $100,000 annual MGP payment to the foundation. I really, I think the wish of the board, or the communication to the board from Anthony, to Anthony last meeting was, you know, have a resolution where every April, I believe, the board would decide whether we want this in the endowment portion or the spendable portion. I spoke to Anthony. I really think MGP's intent and the mayor's intent when this was signed was that this would go into the endowment for future, for perpetuity of the city of Greendale. So what Anthony suggested is that that the resolution, I thought he would have it tonight, my apologies, is he's gonna have two of them. He's gonna have one saying the board will decide every April, then he's gonna have another one that will say this amount will go into the endowment unless voted on differently by the board. I feel strongly that, you know, again, I was in a lot of those meetings, and the intent was for this to be a beautification, to be put away just for the proceeds to be, and basically so for future redevelopments, administrations couldn't touch this, but it would come back to the Greendale residents. But it's kind of a moot point right now because we don't have that. So thoughts, questions, concern on my idea, but again, that's what we have.
I think that's the way it was presented back, that it would perpetuity fund boards 20 years from now, or whatever that time frame would be, based upon the proceeds.
But it wasn't just the $100,000
No.
annual payment. It was all of the money.
All the money.
Other than what we needed to clean the houses with now, is what I
Yes.
remember.
Yeah.
Yes, you are correct, yes.
Yeah, and really, the TIF money, we won't know till next year how much that'll be. But this 100,000, the 100,000 is only for 10 years.
Mhm.
So, but the promise of the 240,000 is for
That was based upon the
25.
assessment of the building.
25 years.
25 years.
That was 25 years. But
Right.
we will receive that regardless
Yes.
of the TIF. And it will just be in a form of a pilot payment, and that does come to us.
That would be
Whereas
the difference, that would be the difference of 240 and the TIF, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. But the 100,000 is automatically sent from, the reason, and Bill, you're not incorrect on that, but the 100,000, the difference is, the 100,000 is automatically sent to the foundation. Whereas the 240 TIF and probable pilot payment will come to us. So it's just more memorializing the 100,000, but.
Well, I agree, we need to memorialize the 100,000, but I really don't, unless we can't use all of the 240, in my opinion, either. We need to have the TIF monies also go into that fund, or we're not gonna have enough money to make this thing work.
I would agree.
Yeah, so.
I mean, I could see us using some funds, if there's a nice thing we could do that improve different things, we could use a portion of it, but.
Well, we're gonna need a portion of the 240 to clean the houses.
Yes.
So.
Oh, going forward, yeah.
Yeah.
Until it builds up, yes.
Right.
Yeah. So, what's everybody think? You want Anthony to bring both resolutions? You feel better with one? You want, I just.
Remind me again, what's the difference between the two?
So if you're looking at it, there on the left, the 100,000.
The difference between the two resolutions.
Oh, one was, from our meeting last time, Anthony had the resolution that the board, he understood the board to say, every year in April, we'll make a decision where we want that 100,000 going here, spendable portion of the endowment, or the either the spendable portion of the fund or the endowment.
And then the second one is the, like, negative elect, like, it's
Yes.
gonna go there unless we say.
It's gonna go there
very well.
unless we vote.
for it.
I like that one better.
So
In
that
my, in my
way-
opinion, the second one is where we need to be.
I agree.
Okay, all right, you guys are all shaking your heads.
There's no,
so I haven't
no
do that one.
decision in April by whoever sits in
Yeah.
these seats later.
Exactly.
Put this $1
Exactly.
million over 10
Okay.
years, put this $100,000 a
Okay.
year in the,
Okay, all right, very good, thank you.
So a question, this
Sure.
might sound kind of odd, but this board passes a resolution now for 25, 26, and 27. 2029, there's 5 new people here. What does it take to change that? Is there binding language that could be put in there that this is locked in
Has
forever?
to be unanimous decision or something like that, I can ask Anthony.
that
You
was
know,
my, that was my
yeah.
point about Anthony drawing something up that will memorialize this. In other words, it's gotta be there. You can't change it, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
And
that's my, I
Mark,
don't know what that is to your.
I
Yeah,
don't know that, and that was the mayor's concern when he
Can't encumber-
negotiated this.
Well, that's why he
Can't
wanted
encumber
to do
funds in
this.
the future, right?
Huh?
Like, generally, you can't encumber public funds
I
in
don't,
the future.
I don't know, and I don't know that answer, you know, but if it would come to fruition, the balance of this would be what, 7 million?
7.5 million?
7.1 in 25 years, you know, that endowment, that's a huge amount.
That's a
for
lot of money.
Greendale's gonna have a decision when I'm gone in 25 years of what we do with these funds.
Because you have to spend it out of that endowment, correct?
The foundation will absolutely send a check to.
3%, 3 or 4%.
Yeah,
4%, I think it was.
That's a boatload of money.
yeah, if it's 7 million, that's 280,000 a year.
Yeah, but 280,000 to clean these houses, you know, it's costing us 150 now.
Yep, yep.
You know, or whatever, plus, you know, it's gonna go up, we all know that,
Yeah.
so, you know, it's not gonna be, we need that to get that
To
number
get to where
covered.
we need to be.
Right, that's what I, that was my point.
I'll ask Anthony on that, if he can do anything. I don't know that answer. And Mike just said public funds, you know, I don't know if we can make a decision for future boards.
I'm technically thinking that these are not public funds,
They're not.
this million anyway.
The
Tiff's the other
100,000 would
story.
not,
The 100,000 a year is could be construed as not public funds, in my opinion.
Once it's in the endowment,
Right,
that's a good question, I don't know.
yeah, I know, it's, again, that's, you know,
It's coming from a private
you
entity.
have to get on TV instead of radio for a while, you know? You learn more when you're on TV.
Yeah.
Judge Judy'd have it figured out.
Yeah.
okay, so I'm moving on down, unless there's more conversation there. The TEPI contract for the Bellevue US 50 275 interchange, that was given to you guys. I spoke to the lady on the contract, is Kayla Nair. I spoke to her at length, because I didn't, we have 25% less islands. Now they've taken that one. It was the smallest island, as she pointed out to me.
I was gonna say, because it doesn't appear to be that much lower.
It's not.
Proposal.
It's a little bit lower, but she just said costs have went up. She said, but Bill, last year, or this year's cost is about 25,000. That did not include, the cost this year took out the fourth island. We did not get billed for the fourth island, because we let them know ahead of time.
In only once though, right?
I don't even think we did it once. I think we had them remove the plants from that one island and transfer them to other places.
Okay, I don't remember that, okay.
What she stated is that, you know, their cost of traffic mitigation is tough.
Less place, they have to mitigate traffic.
There you go.
They don't have to cross
Aaron, I
over
should have
to
thought
one
of that
more
one.
place.
I wanna know who teaches people how to come up with reasons why they're raising prices,
Yeah.
because that, I mean, that's a new one.
Because they
That's a
can.
new one. But I mean,
There's a
it
lot of
teaches, no, the
traffic
wording
there. I
on
get
how,
that.
this is
Like,
defending
that's
because
a-
traffic
Yeah,
mitigation.
it's just,
What went up? It's the same person standing
So-
out there, you're paying them another $1 an hour?
so this is 2026 contract. We approve it, and then I showed it to the Visitor and Convention Bureau Board this morning, and the agreement with Greendale for 10 years from them is they will pay up to $30,000 a year for the maintenance of this. So really, there's no cost to us.
Right.
They didn't have to approve it because they already have the agreement that. We do have to approve this so I can sign it and get it ready for 2026.
What amount did you say that is? 30,000 is what they pay up to?
24 or
Up to,
25.
yeah.
Wait a minute, what's this? Oh,
And
that
it's
was
for a
last year.
10-year.
So, yeah, it didn't go down that much.
Yeah.
30,000 per year?
Not for what it was, so.
What year
Pleasure.
of that are we in?
Huh?
What year of that are we in?
Probably 3 or 4 years in.
I think definitely 3. I think we're approving 4th year.
Pleasure of the board.
I would say we still need to do it.
I think they've done a great job. But we need to sign the contract and we get the invoice and then we pass them on. We pay them and then the Visitor and Convention Board reimburses the city or redevelopment.
And the 2025 pricing, the 25,372, that
was
didn't,
3 islands.
okay,
Yeah,
it
that
didn't
was 3.
include the other,
Well, it included them transferring the plants that they could from that island to the other islands.
but it didn't include the,
No, I saw that, that's a different charge. I
That's
saw
a
that.
Okay,
different, that's
that
a
was a
different,
That's like
yeah.
that was like 4,000, I think.
Yeah.
okay.
3,800 or something like that. Okay.
All right.
So, what do you want, Michael?
I need a motion for me to sign and approve that.
I will make the motion for you to sign and approve the 2026 HEPI contract.
Okay. I have a motion.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, so moved. Okay, the last one is, we had talked, we had gotten a price from Tepe to do the Ridge Bellevue intersection when we planted the trees after Anchor Glass did everything to take care of that area. Well, we got the trees planted, but the sign and the stuff right underneath the sign, nobody's touched that in 2 or 3 years. What I suggest, and we talked about it, I believe we talked about maybe a payment to the City of Greendale Park Board for $5,000 to maintain that area. Not only redo it and then. I don't know where you are. And, fertilizing the trees, mulching the trees, whatever needs to be done. I don't, it seems like a lot to me, but it seems like that was the amount we talked about. I have not spoken to the park board about this, but I know they will do it.
Just that little area?
Huh?
Just that little area where the signs are at?
I threw an amount out there because I remember us talking about amount, because I think Tepe's amount was more than that.
Oh, I think Tepe was $3,800 as I look back, looking
Okay.
at different invoices or something. I forget what I was looking at, but I think I saw $3,800 somewhere in one of Becky's things.
Would you guys feel more comfortable dropping it down like 3,000?
Would that be something the garden club would be interested in? Because they got a Greendale Garden Club. I mean, is that something they'd be interested in doing? I don't know. Linda runs that, I think, doesn't she?
She does, yes.
We could ask her, but what I worry about a little bit are the trees too. We spent a lot of money on those, and I think eventually that will be a very nice screen for that. I'm open for suggestions, I don't,
Yeah, I think having the park board, take care of it's a good idea. I guess in my head, I'm looking, what's it gonna take to take care of that area for them? Because I believe when we did this, that Vince committed that the city would mow the area.
Yeah.
I remember doing that. So we're talking about, whether to put some flowers and take care of the mulching the trees, watering the trees, things like that. I don't know if that's more than a couple $1,000s a year in my head.
Okay.
But the flip side of all that is, if we give them $2,000, we've also, I don't know if it was this year or last year, we gave them money to buy a new building for the park back there at the ball field that I think they used for like a concession stand or something. Yeah, we gave them that, we bought that building last year or this year, I forget now when that was. I mean, we've been giving them money by buying different things and supporting them in that sense. I would almost think that they would say, hey, yeah, we can take care of that for you because you take care of us. I don't realize they're gonna say that, so maybe having a couple $1,000 to do it would make sense.
Why don't I do this, rather than coming up with an amount, how about I reach out to Linda, and I'll mention the garden club, maybe, you know, maybe there's a combination of the two, where the garden club takes care of the, right in front of the sign, and then, you know, the park board
Takes care of the trees.
Who takes care of the sign down this end? Park board or garden club?
I have no idea.
On Ridge,
Yeah,
the
the-
signboard?
yeah.
In front of Seagram's?
Well,
The one by Seagram's there, that said, you know, Greendale.
who puts the letters on it?
No, not that.
No,
The
the-
monument sign that's down there
Oh.
as you enter town?
Oh, as you're coming up.
Yeah, as you're coming
Coming
up.
In front of the
from-
building.
Whoever takes care of that should, and probably be the same group that's taking care of that, whether it's garden club or, I gotta believe it's, the park board, but I'm not, maybe not, maybe it's the garden club, I don't know.
I don't know.
But we should also ask Vince to have that sign soft washed. I noticed that yesterday when I came up.
It's kinda
That's
ragged.
pretty black.
Yeah, they did it once already.
They did that sign?
No, I don't think Fish did, but
No, I mean, our guys.
Our guys,
I think our guys did.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I thought that would come out better than
It's
that.
gonna be every year.
Yeah, I think it's
It's
kind
close.
of.
It's Brown Central.
Okay,
Yeah, I
so,
know. Okay.
we'll
So-
table that, and let me bring that
All right.
back and stuff. I just, again, we spent a lot of money there, and I just wanna make sure that, you know, with perfect north slopes and people coming, so. Okay, I have no other, any audience comments? You're it. Okay, any other comments from Mike or any of the board members? Yep.
I think you all received it, the cleaning of the roof.
Yeah,
Thank you for your participation, assistance on that. It was,
what a difference.
it was amazing.
Yeah.
You guys, you
What
guys,
roof did we clean? I'm trying to remember.
I think I forwarded, it was one of the roofs.
it was,
Primary?
Primary school.
Primary.
C, or not, yeah.
Primary, yeah. I did see that.
Really made a big difference.
Probably did.
And I don't know, and maybe Vince would know it. It seems to me you should be able to put some kind of like, when you go to the car wash, you can wash with
Put a
a
seal on,
silicone
yeah.
to keep it from, because that's a metal roof, I believe. I don't know, maybe that's,
In your experience with the different guys that did looked at your building, and did they
Yeah.
talk about anything that they could put on to, after they washed, to seal it from getting there again?
turtle wax or something.
Turtle wax, yeah. We need Miyagi?
No,
Aaron's too
there
young
was,
to know about turtle wax.
I know there was a lot of testing done with paint and paint coverings and things like that back when the testing was being performed.
Copper was the one
And
thing that seemed to.
copper was the one thing that was like, had a chemical reaction that resisted.
Really?
And that was, but as far as coatings, things like that,
Didn't have it?
no.
It'll be interesting, because one thing we heard from the,
Just
the one guy who was here back when Al was here about how do you mitigate it, and I guess doing multiple houses together, because it
Yeah.
jumps from one house there. We'll find that out.
yeah, I remember that discussion, yeah.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Anything else?
No, thank you very much. No,
Okay.
thank you very much for your assistance.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion to adjourn.
We have a first, we have a second.
I will second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you very much.
I got
Thanks, Laura.
$60,000 on it.
Just,
I'm itching for another car, so.
yeah, just email her or whatever, because she didn't even give me it back. I mean, I have, but normally she gives me one just as a working, but I didn't really need it, but, okay. Okay, good. All right, thanks, Laura. Drive safe.
It's supposed to storm today? I just remember somebody saying sunny all week.
Planted some grass
I was just hearing what I wanted to hear.
I was gonna ride a motorcycle down here, and then I looked on my phone, and it said rain in the area,
maybe
and I
not,
thought, what? And it was calling for like a 25% chance of rain at 6 o'clock.
I'll call you tomorrow, maybe we
It
can.
still got a little windy.
It got dark out there.
Yeah.
like,
But you're ready to sell that.
Well, it's still
I'll find
daylight.
out what it's worth.
It got
Yeah.
pretty dark out there in the
The
horizon.
wind was blowing, but it looks like
Gotta be-
it's
I mean, it was one
Platinum
phone conversation I
that
had with
year,
him.
Yeah.
it didn't have anything else.
So I did not ride a
Makes
motorcycle.
sense at all.
So-
And I also put a tow hitch on it, so there's.
I know.
If
It's
they
the
want to
end
turn
of
their
the year,
attention to
I'm
this,
trying
they
to
need to make
find
a decision on if they
Yes,
want to do
many
this.
in this.
opportunities, and I just don't have